Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Riv Readers podcast, hosted by Regina Library at Riviera University. I'm Katie McFarlane, your research and instruction librarian. This episode, we're chatting with library student worker Brynn Roche. Thank you so much for joining me, Brynn. I'm so excited to have you on our podcast. First, I was wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a junior here. I'm a health science major. I'm part of the volleyball team, and I work at the library on campus. So thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So would you mind sharing what you're currently reading?
I'm currently reading The Ghosts of Honolulu, which is about the attack on Pearl Harbor, and it's an
Okay.
interesting perspective, so I picked it up.
Is it a young adult book, adult book?
It's
What's the age group?
nonfiction. So
Oh, nonfiction. Okay.
yeah, so it's just a true story based on a Japanese spy and then a counterintelligence officer with the NCIS, I believe. I think something like that. But yeah, I'm not too far into it, but it's an
Okay.
interesting story so far.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. Do you like reading history books?
Not usually. I usually just pick up anything that I see and like I'm like, oh, I don't know that much about that topic, or like that seems
Mhm.
interesting. It's kind of just a random pick, but I'm glad I picked it up because hopefully I'll get to hear a cool story about history. Yeah.
Yeah, and kudos to you. Like, I can't get through nonfiction books for to save my life. I will hear about it and I'm like, oh, that sounds like a really cool premise. And then I'm just like so bored.
Yeah, no, I used to be like that, definitely. But like a year ago, I read this really interesting book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't know, I kind of just started on like a nonfiction kick from there. But
Nice. And I feel like if the author does it right, they can almost make it read like fiction,
yeah,
even though it's based on reality.
yeah, for sure.
So, my second question is, which book made you fall in love with reading?
I feel like I go through like phases with reading. Like I've been reading since I was younger and like definitely like the Percy Jackson books, Harry Potter, like those
Oh,
classics
sure.
like got me into reading, I feel like. Recently, some books that have like got me back into like a reading kick. I read this book called Why We Sleep, and I feel like
Oh,
it like changed my life. Like all
wow.
my friends, I'm like, you need to read this book. I just feel like it completely changed my perspective on like the amount of sleep that we need. And I don't know, it was
That
really
is
interesting.
so important, especially as a college student.
Yes. I try to get my message across. I'm like, all my friends, we need to sleep.
Yes.
Yes. I feel like it's not talked about enough. Like in health,
Right.
we're learning about all these other health issues, but like chronic sleep loss.
It really adds up, and it's not something that you can like recover from. You're like, oh, I'll
Yeah.
just sleep more the next night or something. It's
No,
like,
that was
no.
something I thought before reading that. And I'm like, oh, that was just wrong my whole life.
Now, have you heard anything about the chronotypes with sleep? So there's this guy who did oh, and I can't remember the name of the book, but there's like different chronotypes. So there's like if you're a lion, you like to get up early, and those are kind of like your best peak hours. And then most people are bears, where it's like you kind of like to wake up around like 7, 8-ish, and your peak hours for productivity are like 10 to 2. And then there's like dolphins who are just all over the place because dolphins like sleep with their brain still going. And then wolves are like your typical like night owl kind of people. I found that really helpful to me in terms of especially those productive hours and being like, okay, I know that I'm at my best between 10 and 2, and like I'm not going to fight it and try to like be really super productive in the morning or like late in the afternoon because it's
Yeah.
just not going to happen. No, I know you mentioned like the Percy Jackson series. Did
Yeah.
you watch the new Disney adaptation of that?
I did not. I've been meaning to, and I've been like asking around because like I don't
Mhm.
want to waste my time if it's not gonna like, live up to it.
Yeah.
They're good things, but yeah, I've been meaning to get around to it.
Yeah, no, I watched it and I was really impressed by the quality. And I think having the actual author like working on it this time and helping to come up with the scripts and stuff was really helpful.
Yeah, I watched the movies and they were okay, but
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
hesitant to give the show a chance, but I'll have to get around to that for sure.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. I didn't watch the movies. Kind of the opposite. I had heard bad things and I was like, I'm
Yeah, no,
good.
don't bother. Yeah. Yeah.
So, why do you read?
I feel like it's just a way for me to like decompress, like get my stress out. There's like nothing better than just like getting lost in a story. And I don't know, my whole family reads, so it's just like something we all do. Like if we're sitting together, like we all have a book, and I don't know, like to sit with a good book.
That's amazing. I love that you guys use it as like a bonding experience. So you mentioned with the Ghosts of Honolulu that you had just kind of spotted it and picked it up. How do you choose which books you want to read in general?
I feel like I'm very reliant on like stuff I see online, like
Hmm.
Instagram or like Instagram Reels or stuff like that, like
Hmm.
book talk books, I guess. I feel like I like to switch between books. Like I'll read like a nonfiction book or like a heavier topic book and then do like a little palette cleanse with
Hmm.
like rom-com.
Totally.
So yeah, usually through that or like friends. I have a friend on the volleyball team, Ryan. Shout out to Ryan. Who she's always recommending me books. She's always reading. Yeah, basically just word of mouth or like stuff I see online.
You know that they're, getting recommended for a reason, like if
Yes.
people are really into them and spreading the word about them. Now, how do you make time as a college student to fit reading into your schedule?
I am in the habit of like telling myself, I'm like, oh, I don't have time to read. But then I look at my screen time and I'm like, if you're spending that much time on your phone, you have time to read. Like, so I
Sure.
feel like making the time to like put your phone down or like just put time aside to reading and I make it happen. I get that some people just want to like mind off at the end of the day, but
Right, right. Or have like other ways of decompressing that,
yeah.
that's soothing to them, maybe to
Mhm.
play a video game or like hang out with friends. But
Yeah, balance definitely.
yeah, kind of like prioritizing what you want to do. And then, like you mentioned, kind of like almost doing like a time audit and being like, this is how I am spending my time, and this is how I want to be spending my time.
Spotify, they recently came out with like audiobooks included in premium.
Yes.
I was so happy when that happened. I
It's like
was
a total game changer.
reading and then like on my way to work, I'll listen to it. So I get through books a lot faster that way too, which
Oh,
I've never been one to like read two books at the same time. But I feel like
sure.
with like the audiobook and then the paper copy, I feel like I can do it that way and read two separate books that way. But yeah,
Yeah, no, it's amazing because I think, what is it, like 15 hours a month or something?
I don't know the exact number. I just know one time I ran out of time for the book. I was like, no, but
But then you can just like wait till it resets,
yeah,
I think for my account, it's like in the middle of the month. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can just kind of like pace myself and
I
wait till
need
it resets and then finish the book.
yeah.
That was so amazing when I saw that they were starting to advertise it. And at first it was only in the UK, I think. They like rolled it out over in the UK first before putting it over here. And I was like, as soon as this is available to us, I am all over this.
Yes, yes, I love it. I've never
Yeah,
like listened to audiobooks because you've I've always had to pay for them. So
exactly.
technically I'm paying for Spotify, but I don't
Right,
know.
but there's so much other stuff included too. So, although I will say I have noticed a couple, like one or two books I've done so far, they'll have the first one for free and then you go to the second one and you would have to pay for it. And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Ooh, wow.
They get you hooked on a series,
Yeah.
but I'll still take it.
Yeah.
So, really my last question is what books are there any books that you like recommend to people all the time? I know you mentioned the sleep one, but
People Honestly. I really love the book Little Woman, and that's also a
Mm.
really good movie, the one from 2019, if you're into like historical stuff. I love Dune by Frank Herbert.
Oh,
I
yeah.
read that over COVID just because it's such a long book, but
Sure.
the movie coming out, I was like, I feel like I need to read the book first. And I'm really glad I did. That book just like completely sucked me in. It was a whole different world that was built, and I thought it was awesome. But I definitely recommend it.
From what I've read, because I haven't read the book, but I saw the movies, and I know the books get a lot more into like the politics between the houses and all the kind of behind the scenes back and forth.
Yeah, I definitely don't think I could have watched the movie without reading the book first. Like,
Mhm.
I think I would have been lost. Reading the book, you definitely get a lot more detail, and like you see how much like world building was done around it.
Yeah. It's
It was,
incredible for when it was written, because I think wasn't it the 60s maybe?
yeah, it was like
Mhm.
a while back. Yeah,
Like pre-Star Wars.
yeah, and like
So,
even when you're reading, I feel like you can just see all the like the similarities between Star Wars and like how it was kind of set by Dune. So I
yeah.
and I would recommend it. Like I wouldn't consider myself someone into sci-fi, but I really did enjoy it. So
Well,
yeah.
actually, I do some of the ordering for like English and American literature, and I was like, our copy of Dune is pretty old. It's gotten a ton of checkouts, especially recently with, the movies, but I was like, we should get some updated ones. So I actually just ordered a trilogy of, I think it's Dune, Dune Messiah, and Children of Dune. And we'd only had like the original Dune, so we're adding those two books because I heard that they're doing a third movie that's going to be based kind of on like Dune Messiah. So I was like, we should have those for the library. So those should be coming in soon. with nice, pretty, shiny new
I'm
covers.
excited.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
And
thank
for
you.
If you'd like to follow us on social media, we are at Regina Library on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And we're also on TikTok at regina.library. You can always reach us through our website, too. It's been great having you here. Best wishes to everyone with finals, and we'll see you again next time for a special summer series with the Regina Library staff.